Hey guys, today we are going to be discussing getting a mentor and exactly what that is, and pretty much going into the nitty gritty of what a mentor does, what they are, and potentially even what you need to be a mentor, right? And things like that. So, to start off with, I thought I would do some type of a definition of what a mentor actually is. So, I just searched on Google, and the way that it worked, or what was told to me, was a mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. So, now, I think of it as a little bit more broader than that on some level because I think it's really anyone who provides any type of advice, who teaches you something, and gives you the tools to, I don't know, grow on some level, right? And so it really can be anyone. And this means potentially your mentor could be your parent, it could be your neighbor, it could be your friend, right? It could be a YouTuber whose videos you watch. I mean, it could be pretty much anyone who provides you with some type of information that does what I said, provides you advice, teaches you something, and gives you the tools that you need to grow on some level, right? So if someone does any or all of those things, right, they are your mentor. And I think a lot of people have also decided that in order to have a mentor, it has to be someone that you know one on one, or even in a small group setting, someone that you actually physically see, that you know, who knows who you are, right? And that's not necessarily the case. That's like the greatest goal, right? It's like that all your mentors that you have are people that you know, you get to sit down with them, you get to have really nice conversations, but I mean, if anything, that probably won't happen particularly often unless you're in a specific type of program for that. But on top of that, it's like you don't need to be one on one in a physical environment to actually learn something from someone, right? So a lot of the mentors that I have are just people that I listen to online. And the reason I consider them my mentors is that they provide me with valuable information. They help me look at the world a little bit differently. They help me think about what books to read or what changes I might want to do in my life, right? And that's really the point, right? And this, in and of itself, is very indicative of really growing as a person, right? And what does this really have to do with professionalism and networking, right? Let's get back to that for a second, right? What does it show that you have a mentor to someone who is viewing you as a professional, to someone who you're networking with? Well, what that kind of shows is that you're a self starter on some level. It shows that you really care about becoming better than you currently are. And that's a huge plus as a skill because if you are trying to be better than you were the day before, right, and you're really taking the steps to do that, that is a great skill for any type of professional because that means that you care about what you're doing, right? And if you care about what you're doing, you are going to improve regardless of the limitations that you see in yourself at that moment. The whole point is if you see a skill that you want to develop, you figure out how to develop it, right? And that's very indicative of if you have a mentor or not, if you have 10 mentors or not, right? And your mentors might shift around throughout the year. Maybe when you're feeling a certain way, you might need to listen to certain people, certain mentors, right? But when you're in another state of mind, you need to listen to other people, right? And maybe there are people that you need to consistently listen to all the time to continue to move towards your goals, right? And that's really something you figure out over time. But overall, it's just about figuring out what you need to become a better version of yourself than you currently are. And yeah, so that's really the main focus of it, and it shows other people that you really are serious about becoming a better, I guess on some level it's becoming a better person, but on another level it's becoming more independent, right? More self-conscious and basically just becoming a better person in society, but also becoming a better person in your field as well as it's just about becoming a better person, right? And mentors will help you with gaining professional experiences, right? Mentors help you with starting out projects, right? Mentors help you with maybe bringing up issues or ways to improve that you might not necessarily have thought of otherwise, right? So that's really what it is to be um, mentored, right? So if you're a mentee, your job is pretty much to listen to these different sources, to these different mentors, and learn as much as you can. And the only way that really works is if you are willing to learn and willing to also listen to opinions that may differ from yours. So, I mean, your mentors could have completely different opinions about different things, but so long as you're willing to listen and try to understand their point of view. And so yeah, it's totally fine to have a differing opinion from other people, but so long as you take the time to try and learn from what other people are trying to tell you, right? If you can take even one thing out of what someone's teaching you, that makes it invaluable, right? And some of these mentors could be authors whose books you're reading, right? And that's how you gain your knowledge from them, right? It could be people who have long since passed away. If you're learning about different philosophies, different ideologies, right? It's really about figuring out how to grow, right? And a lot of these ways that you're going to be growing, it's either in technical skills or soft skills, right? So more of the things that are outside of maybe your field of interest are going to be developing yourself as in soft skill areas, right? Maybe leadership, um, maybe time management, things like that are possible things that you can learn from mentors. But if you are listening to someone maybe from your field, right, it's more about technical knowledge, right? Where can I look to find different resources to learn new things? What textbooks should I be reading? What fields should I be listening to figure out what strides are being made and things like that? That's also highly important, right? And when you're talking to either an employer or another professional, right? It's very interesting how those conversations can shift when you talk about the things that you yourself are learning and how you're developing your skills and things like that, because that shows that you actually care about where you're going in your path. And so, yeah, I would highly recommend finding a mentor. And so now let's shift over to how exactly you do that. Part of it is think about what are the things that you want to develop over the course of maybe the next 6 months, 12 months, things like that, and maybe even the next 5, 10 years down the line. That really depends on who you are, but I would recommend sticking to maybe the next year or so, right? That's like a very easy thing to grasp, the next year of time. But even then, I would say also shorten it to maybe months, as well as maybe set check-ins for yourself as well. And so what you should do is think, what are these things that I want to learn about? What are these things that I want to explore more? And then you have to find, okay, these are the things, maybe it's like 10 different things that you want to learn about over the course of the next year. And you say, okay, what are the most important things here that I want to learn about? And what do I do now? Well, search. Say if the skill is leadership development, mentors, right? And maybe you'll find a couple people, right? Maybe they'll be good, maybe they'll be bad, but then you can also search YouTube. I would say YouTube is such a good platform at this point to learn information. And so what you do is think, okay, maybe your skill is organization. Well, organizational tips for beginners, or just organizational tips, and you just search and see what comes up. And over time, maybe you'll find certain people that whose videos you very frequently watch on specific topics. So, for example, I enjoy listening and learning a little bit more about entrepreneurship, right? So there's one channel that I listen to quite often, an entrepreneur by the name of, whose channel's name is Gary V. So that's literally who I listen to for learning about some things in entrepreneurship, as well as just different mindset things as well he talks about and things like that. So I find that stuff very good for those specific things, and that's what I look at for that. Now, there are other channels that I look at maybe for organization or even just information about, say, fitness or things like that. Like, you look at different channels for different things, and so those people are your mentors. And so that's a great way to get started. But also from there, you can also check LinkedIn. You can check with the people around you, because these people around you in your inner circle may know different things, and if you ask them about something that they're very knowledgeable about, you can have a very good conversation and learn. And that's really all you're looking for in a mentor, to learn. And similarly for LinkedIn, like trying to see people who are maybe 10, 20, 30 years down the line in your field and saying, what can I learn from this person? Let's ask specific questions. Now, the thing with that is, if you're reaching out to another person, you need to have done some level of research, because otherwise you're just wasting their time, because you're just asking them to give you all the answers. You also have to do some semblance of research on your own and learn things, because you have to show these people who are going to take their time to teach you that you're actually interested in these things, that this is actually something that you're willing to put time and effort into. And if you're not willing to do that, don't look for a mentor, because the most important thing is that you're trying to learn things on your own, but these mentors are able to help guide you in that effort, right? So you have to do some research on your own, then ask questions, then more research on your own, ask questions, and you have to show the results, figure out exactly what you're trying to develop, and develop those skills. And if you're having trouble, ask questions, things like that. That's what the whole mentoring process is. And so that's what you have to do. And that's really the best way to develop mentors. And not only that, I would recommend that once you start this process, right, maybe there are things that you know that other people don't, and that you can help them in some small way, however small, and maybe you can develop skills as a mentor yourself, right? And that's kind of like the sharing of knowledge on some level. It's like you learn something, you pass it on to someone else who needs that information too. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on pretty much getting a mentor and what it takes to be a mentor. And, well, there is actually one other thing. So, when you're searching for mentors, right, especially if you're in a university setting, I would suggest searching through clubs as well as on your university level itself to see if there are already pre-existing mentoring programs. Now, not all of them are created equally. Some are fairly new, some are fairly older, right? And some have different focuses. Figure out what might be something that you're interested in joining in, right? And so if you're in a club and they have a mentoring program, sign up. See what you can learn, right? Similarly, if you're in a particular college that has a focus in a specific field and they have a mentoring program, sign up. You'll learn more about your college. You'll learn more about the different resources available to you. You'll learn more about how to develop skills that way in a pre-existing program as well. You know, you don't just have to reach out to individuals. You can reach out to people who have already set aside, okay, I want to be a mentor of some people, and they're part of an organization that legitimately just does that, to teach people. That's their purpose. So yeah, that's pretty much the last thing, I guess, that I would like to go over. So yeah, that's really all I have to say as of now for what it takes to pretty much find a mentor, right? And what you need to do once you find that mentor. And not only that, what it kind of takes and what it means to become and think about being a mentor yourself, right? So yeah, if you liked that video, or if you liked this video, please let me know in the comments below. If there's anything more that you want me to talk about on this topic, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, please like it, I guess, and subscribe for more content like this on my channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.